Right now, tonight, your bedroom is probably sitting at 78, maybe 82 degrees. You've got a $400 fan pushing hot air around in circles. Your electric bill is going up every single month. And somewhere in a boardroom, an executive at a major HVAC company is having a very good year. And here's what's killing me. The solution to your problem is literally older than the Roman Empire. It costs $12. 12. And the cooling industry, the government energy agencies, the smart home companies, none of them want you building this thing. Before they ban this information completely, let me show you what 3,000 years of desert engineering actually looks like. This is the Terracotta Earth Tunnel Cooling System. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why it disappeared and exactly how to bring it back. Let me tell you what happened. In 1902, Willis Carrier patents the first mechanical air conditioning system. Smart guy. But what gets buried, and I mean properly suppressed, is that in 1906, the United States Department of Agriculture published internal memos documenting passive earth cooling structures used by settlers in the American Southwest that were achieving indoor temperatures 18 to 22 degrees Fahrenheit below ambient air temperatures. Zero electricity, zero refrigerant, zero monthly bill. By 1930, mechanical cooling lobby groups had direct access to federal housing policy. The 1940s Federal Housing Administration guidelines, the FHA, the exact same body that decided what got built in post-war America, quietly dropped all passive cooling requirements from residential construction codes. They didn't make it illegal. That's too obvious. They just stopped requiring it, stopped funding research, stopped teaching it in architecture schools. The trap they set wasn't a ban, it was silence. And silence is cheaper to maintain than a lawsuit. Here's the specific technical detail that proves it. A terracotta, or fired clay conduit buried 18 to 24 inches below grade, sites in soil that maintains a near constant temperature of 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, year-round across most of the continental United States and the UK. That's basic geothermal physics. It has always been true. It will always be true. The ground doesn't need a power company. That's exactly the problem. Here's what the people who actually understand heat transfer have known for decades. When air moves through a tube buried in cool earth, the tube wall acts as a heat exchanger. The air surrenders its heat energy to the surrounding soil. You pull it out the other end, and it's cold. Not cooler, cold. This is called an earth-to-air heat exchanger, EHE, in the technical literature. The Iranian version is called a Qanat system, used continuously since roughly 1000 BC. The Persian windcatcher towers, the Badgir, combined above-ground air intake with underground clay conduits to achieve documented indoor temperatures of 59 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit in desert climates, where the outside air was pushing 110. Dr. Abdulkader Benkert published peer-reviewed modeling in the journal Energy in Buildings in 2016, showing that a 30-meter earth-air heat exchanger in a hot, dry climate can reduce cooling loads by up to 70%. 70. Not 7. Not 17. 70%. And this is why mechanics buy old trucks. Not the ones built after the lobbyists got to the engineers. The old ones, where somebody just solved the problem the logical way. You want a cool cab in summer? You route your fresh air intake low and long across ground. Same principle. Physics doesn't change. The industry just prefers you not notice. The government does not want you to know that the materials required to build a functional residential earth air cooling inlet cost between $12 and $40, depending on what you already have in your shed. Dealers will never tell you this because there is no dealer. There's no subscription. There's no filter to replace every 6 months. There is only clay pipe, a shovel, and 3,000 years of proof that this works. Right, let's get into exactly what you're building and how to do it properly. What you need: standard terracotta agricultural drainage pipe, 4-inch internal diameter minimum, 6-inch preferred. You can use HDPE corrugated pipe as a budget alternative. Same thermal mass principles apply. But terracotta is better because fired clay is slightly porous, and that microporosity allows a small amount of evaporative cooling at the pipe wall. You're not getting it with plastic. Terracotta 6-inch pipe runs about $1.80 to $2.20 per 30 centimeter section at any agricultural supplier, farm merchant, or builder's merchant. Nobody at B&Q is going to explain this to you. Go to the farm supplier. The system works like this. You dig a trench, minimum 18 inches deep, ideally 24 inches. The trench runs from an outdoor intake point. A shaded north-facing spot is ideal, to your inlet point under or near your bedroom wall. Minimum run length for meaningful cooling is 8 to 10 meters. The longer the run, the more contact time the air has with cool soil and the colder your outlet air. A 15-meter run in average UK soil will drop air temperature by between 8 and 14 degrees Celsius on a hot August day. The intake end needs a mesh screen, a modular galvanized mesh to keep insects and rodents out. Wrap it, silicone it, check it every spring, non-negotiable. The outlet end comes up through your floor, your wall sill, or a low-mounted vent box. You can drive airflow with a simple 12-volt computer fan pulling 3 to 6 watts, or you can orient your intake to catch prevailing wind and drive it passively. Completely passive. No electricity. Slope the pipe a minimum of 1 degree downward from intake to outlet, so condensation drains back out the intake end rather than pooling. This is critical. Pooled moisture in a sealed clay pipe will grow mold. Don't skip the slope. Specific years and models to look for. Pre-2000 agricultural drainage pipe from reclamation yards is ideal. The clay density and firing temperature in older British and French agricultural pipe is often superior to modern production. Check architectural salvage places. You can build a complete 15-meter system for under 40 pounds if you source your pipe reclaimed. The thermal performance is identical. What to look for when buying pipe. Check for cracks. By tapping the section with a knuckle. A solid ring means intact fired clay. A dull thud means a fracture, hairline or otherwise. Walk away from dull thuds. The joint seals between sections are the second vulnerability. Use either purpose-made clay pipe joint compound or dense hydraulic lime mix. Do not use standard builder's silicone below grade. It doesn't breathe correctly and it degrades with soil moisture over 5 to 7 years. Here's what I want you to understand about the world you're living in. They want you trapped, not in some conspiracy theory way, in a very boring, very profitable, very legal way. They want you dependent on a system that requires a monthly bill, a licensed contractor, a manufacturer's warranty, a replacement filter, a refrigerant top-up, and an upgrade every 8 years because the old one mysteriously becomes inefficient. The Terracotta tunnel doesn't do any of that. It sits in the ground. It does its job. It will outlive your house if you lay it properly. The Romans used this technology to keep grain stores cold. The Persians used it to live comfortably in the Dasht-e-Kavir desert. Your great-grandmother's root cellar used this principle. It was never lost. It was replaced, deliberately and profitably replaced, with something that requires electricity and a service contract. Before they ban this kind of information from the algorithm entirely, here's what I want from you. If you've built one of these, or if you're going to build one, tell me in the comments. Tell me your soil type, your run length, and what temperature drop you're getting. I want the real numbers, not a manufacturer's spec sheet. Real data from real builds. If you're in the UK, most of England and Wales sits on clay-heavy subsoil that performs exceptionally well for this application. If you're on chalk downland, your depth requirement goes up slightly. Go to 28 to 30 inches to get into stable temperature zone. Scotland and Ireland, you've got peat and loam with excellent thermal retention. You have no excuse not to build this. Drop your build notes in the comments. Help the next person who's looking at a $2,000 air conditioning quote and wondering if there's another way. There is another way. There always was. They just made it very easy to forget. Let me tell you something that took me years to fully understand. The reason this technology disappeared isn't because it stopped working. Clay doesn't forget how to absorb heat. Soil doesn't stop being 55 degrees at 2 feet down. The physics didn't change. What changed was the business model around comfort. In 1952, the first window air conditioning unit goes on mass sale in the United States. By 1955, over 1 million units have been sold. By 1960, the entire residential construction industry has reorganized itself around the assumption of mechanical cooling. Insulation standards, window sizing, roof pitch, orientation of the house on the plot, all of it gets recalibrated for a world where you're going to plug in a machine rather than work with your site. And once that assumption is baked into the building codes, into the mortgage requirements, into the architecture schools, it becomes invisible. It stops being a choice and starts being just how houses are built. Here's the specific number that tells the whole story. In 1950, the average American household spent approximately 1.4% of household income on cooling. By 2022, the U.S. Energy Information Administration's own residential energy consumption survey puts cooling expenditure as the single largest summer electricity cost for households in the South and Southwest, regions that, incidentally, have subsoil temperature profiles almost perfectly suited to passive earth air cooling. The technology that would cut that bill by 60 to 70% was available the entire time. It was available before the bill existed. That's the trap they set. Not a law, not a patent. Just a century of everyone assuming the machine was the only option. Now here's where it gets interesting for anyone building in the UK, because Britain has a specific geothermal advantage that almost nobody talks about. The ground temperature at 1.5 to 2 meters below surface in England stays between 10 and 13 degrees Celsius year-round. Year-round. That's 50 to 55 Fahrenheit. On a 32-degree August day in London, and yes, those days exist now, we've had them, your subsoil is sitting at 11 degrees. You are surrounded by a natural cold reservoir and nobody told you. Your council didn't tell you. Your architect didn't tell you. The bloke selling you a portable air conditioning unit at Screwfix certainly didn't tell you. And before they ban this kind of practical knowledge from the platform entirely, I want to give you the numbers that matter. A standard 6-inch terracotta agricultural pipe, 15 meters of run, 22 inches deep in clay-heavy English soil, with a small 5-watt DC fan pulling air through. Independent monitoring by self-builders in the UK passive house community has documented outlet temperatures between 14 and 17 degrees Celsius on days when the ambient air temperature was 29 to 34 degrees. That is a real-world temperature drop of 12 to 18 degrees Celsius. In a bedroom, from a pipe that cost 40 quid to lay. The HVAC engineer who quoted you $3,500 for a split system unit is not a bad person. He's just never been asked to consider the alternative because the alternative doesn't need him to come back every spring for a service call. This is why mechanics buy old trucks. The old ones were designed by people who had to solve the problem with what was available. No electronics budget, no warranty department, no planned obsolescence cycle. You want the cab to stay cool? You route air intelligently. You use thermal mass. You think about where the heat is coming from, and you interrupt it upstream. That's it. That's all this is. Intelligent interruption of heat before it reaches the space you're trying to protect. The dealers will never tell you this because there is no dealer in this transaction. There is you, a hired mini digger for half a day at about 180, 40 pounds of reclaimed terracotta pipe, a bag of hydraulic lime, and a 5-watt fan you can run off a small solar panel on the north side of your house. Total system cost for a functioning 15-meter earth air cooling inlet, under $250 if you're doing it yourself, under $400 if you're paying someone to dig. Compare that to a split system air conditioner, hardware, installation, annual service, refrigerant top-ups over a 15-year life, and you're looking at a minimum of $6,000 to $8,000 over the same period. The Terracotta system requires zero maintenance beyond checking the inlet screen once a year and clearing any leaf debris. It has no moving parts below ground. It cannot break in any meaningful sense. It will outlast your boiler, your roof, and probably your mortgage. One more thing before the close. If you're on a property with any kind of outbuilding, a garage, a workshop, a utility room adjacent to the house, you have a perfect inlet routing opportunity that most people completely overlook. Run your pipe under the outbuilding floor slab through the connecting wall cavity and up into the main house. The concrete slab adds additional thermal mass to the system, and the total run length increases without any additional excavation in your garden. Self-builders in Germany using this exact configuration, they call it an Erdwärmetauscher, earth heat exchanger, have documented cooling contributions that reduce mechanical cooling demand by between 55 and 80% across the summer months. Published, documented. Available in the literature if you know where to look. The government does not want you to know that your energy bill is optional in ways they have never publicly acknowledged. They collect tax on electricity. They collect VAT on HVAC equipment. They have no mechanism for taxing the temperature of your subsoil. That is the actual political economy of why this information stays quiet. Drop your build in the comments. I want to know where you are, what your soil type is, how deep you went, and what temperature drop you're seeing at the outlet. That data belongs to the people building these systems, not to a manufacturer's internal R&D file.